Health is wealth. Everyone says it, but we will show you how it is done. Hello and welcome to Ishi Speaks, your gateway to good health, an engaging and informative podcast series where we will debunk myths and address all your queries related to health, nutrition, and a good way of life. We will have with us our in-house expert, Miss Ishi Khosla, a clinical nutritionist, author, and columnist. And I'm your host, Ruchiraa Sharma. So let's get started. So welcome, Ishi, to the first episode of Ishi Speaks, your gateway to good health. It's great to have you here with us.
Thank you, Ruchiraa. It's a pleasure.
All right. So when one goes on to Google, the most Googled question is how to lose weight, and there's a consistent rise in that question around the festive season or New Year's or end of summer break. So everyone around the world wants to know just one thing: what is the best way to lose weight?
Clearly, the battle of the bulge is not ending. No matter how intelligent we are about food and whatever we are doing, so diets are not working. And I think the concepts about weight loss and around diets need to be re-examined. We have the sort of basic science around calorie counting, calories in equal to calories out, keeps you the same weight, calories if
Burnt.
Negative, then you are losing weight, and if the equation is positive, you're gaining weight, but that clearly is not happening. There are people who are trying to gain weight, eating 3,000 calories, and they're not putting on an ounce, and the other way around, they're gymming and burning 1,000 calories, eating 800 calories,
but not losing.
It's just not happening, and sometimes even the reverse is happening. That means they're gaining weight, and it's very pathetic. So really, we need to look and relook at our thinking about weight loss and management of weight loss. And what I would really want to sum it up as is that what counts is not only about what number of calories, but it's what you're eating, what are those calories made up of.
Sure.
So what you're eating and the portions, how much you're eating or what you're eating, and what are the timings, big difference here, and and how you're eating it also,
and how your body digests it.
What is your digestion like? Are you really digesting everything, or you partially digesting it, causing food intolerances and allergies?
Right.
And what you're not eating.
Sure.
And most importantly, who you are. So the time for personalized nutrition is absolutely clear, is needed, and we need to work around that. So one size does not fit all, and there is a lot of learning today on each of these. So,
yes, and there is so much information out there, but the most common way to lose weight, typically, as you were saying, is by calorie counting. So how many calories should I consume if I want to lose weight?
Like I said, calories is really not going to define food completely, and therefore not about weight loss. It's a good tool for the professionals, it's a good tool for people who understand food, but if you just give it to the public, you can go horribly wrong. And I'll give you a simple example. Just one extra meal at night, or maybe just one extra chapati or a portion of dessert, spirals the weight out by a kg the next day. And people are frustrated.
And that can't be that one chapati or one
Because
extra.
the calories, if you look at the science around calories, 1 kilo of fat, to gain that,
7,700.
7,000 extra calories.
Yes.
Because 1 gram of adipose tissue is 7 calories. So you haven't eaten 7,000 calories. You've probably eaten just about 70 calories. But how come the weight is up by a kg? That explanation is really what needs to be given to people, and that we know what has happened.
And what is that explanation? Where did that 7,000 come from instead of the 70?
It wasn't 7,000, but you don't gain that kind of fat. You're gaining water.
Okay.
Fat gain
That's
doesn't
water
happen
weight.
in a jiffy.
Overnight, yeah.
Overnight. And so that's water weight, and water weight comes with inflammation, and inflammation comes when you haven't eaten the right food which is working for you, or you've eaten at the wrong time of the day.
So as you said, what you eat, when you eat.
And if you're eating out, then you have sodium.
True.
And so there are other reasons for these kind of things. But yes, calorie counting is only partially going to help.
Sure. So Ishi, another most Googled question is best diet. Which is, in your mind, the best diet for weight loss?
Yes, it's a tough question to package this very vast, world of food and diets. But the thing is, I put it all in my book, Eating at Work, in the form of 5 P's. And the first P is all about peak hunger time, knowing yourself when you are hungriest. So a lot of people are hungry between 5 and 7. In the book I've called it the devil's hour.
All right.
Because all the ordering in offices and all
that happens in that window.
Morning you're very virtuous, sab kuch pani bhi pee liye, wo bhi, you know, we had their green teas and a good breakfast, vegetable juices, and then lunch comes and we have a good lunch, and then all hell breaks loose and then we eat all the rubbish. So know that time and plan for that. So planning is very important. Then the second P is plan. You can't just get onto a day without knowing where you will be and what your food.
So plan your meals ahead.
You cannot take that for granted.
All right.
It's always on the back burner. Dekh lenge kya milega. Don't do that. So carry your food with you if you need to, or arrange for it, or do whatever, and plan your supplements, plan your exercise. So planning is a very important part of getting fitter, and whether it's weight loss or otherwise. And then you have the third P, which is the protein. Proteins are, you know, we've always designed our meals around carbs, which is cereals, about roti, chawal, pasta, pizza, bread, sandwich, dosa, idli.
And we tend to forget about protein.
We don't focus on that, and I'm not overemphasizing proteins, but I just want people to know that it's time to plan your meals around the 2 protein-rich meals a day. That's your goal. It could be eggs in the morning and maybe dal at lunch or meat in the evening.
But make sure there is protein.
2 protein meals. For an average person, this could be 3, but depending on who you are. But at least 2 protein-rich meals on most days. On most days, it doesn't have to be that
every single day,
but that's an important part of how you plan and think about food.
Sure.
And the next P is pairing those proteins with some veggies or fruits. Taking, say, eggs, have a fruit with it, or avocado with it, or tomatoes with it, or some mushrooms. If you're having meats or dals, just some vegetables, common sense stuff, but you know.
But how you mix your.
Yeah. And the last is your protective foods. Protective foods are all about foods which go beyond calories and protein.
Good for your gut.
And good for your gut, good for your system overall, head to toe. They protect you. So protect you, we literally from disease. These include all the vegetables and fruits and the sprouts and the live foods, the ones with prana. You know, so those are the foods with enzymes and or loaded with vitamins. All your spices and all your flavors in food, or fermented foods, probiotics are all part of this. So one meal should be dedicated. So whether it's a soup or a smoothie or a salad, dedicate one meal to this group.
So then no diet, just a lifestyle.
And then the cereal, which is a grain, which is the most important. You didn't ask me that. Well, how do you manage without that? So basically that has to be according to your choice, meaning what works for you. I may be intolerant to gluten or oats or something. What grain I pick, I may have millets or rice or whatever. How much I have, depending on my requirements, 2 portions, 3 portions, and when I have it. So the grain will be according to you. 1 meal, 2 meals, 3 meals, or no meal.
Right.
So that is the extra bit which moves around.
So Ishi Khosla does not recommend a diet as such, not a keto, not one of those fad diets, just a lifestyle.
None of those, but certainly if you look at Google the meaning of diet, it's a way of life. So I do recommend that.
Yes, a sustainable lifestyle. All right, so another common query is, can I lose weight without exercising? What's your take on that?
Certainly you can lose weight without exercising, but the quality of weight loss will not be very good, because like I said earlier, you lose muscle, and to ensure that you preserve your muscle mass, you need to exercise. The quality of weight loss will not be as good, but certainly you can lose weight.
All right, but people often complain that despite eating healthy, despite exercising, despite following nutritionists and dietitians, they are not losing weight. So what is the problem there?
The underlying problem is probably something that is not working for them, like a food intolerance, a food sensitivity. And in my experience, the biggest culprit has been, wheat and the grains, which are wrong in our ecosystem, which are triggering inflammation, and that is one very, very important factor. I always say the grain change is a game change. And then I think with certain people, there could be other issues like salt issues or carbohydrate issues, etc. But typically, if I look at the two technical words for describing this resistance is high insulin levels and inflammation. So we need to address both.
Sure. And how much weight can one really target to lose safely in a good way, maybe like in a week or 2 weeks?
Well, I think on an average, a kg a week is a good weight loss and it's well done. 4 kgs in a month is decent. But it's such a wide variety of variation here. I have patients who are losing 8 to 10 in a month.
Wow.
But that's inflammation, that's not fat.
Or they might be very obese to begin with.
Exactly. Or they're just so inflamed in so much of water loss. Average, I would say, what I find in my practice is anything between 4 and 7.
All right. Sure. So another common area that people are concerned about is the role of genetics and weight loss. Do your genetics really affect and impact your weight loss journey?
Yes, your individual genes do matter because they determine your gut and your gut flora and how your cellular health is and how efficiently you're burning fat. So, but genes are not your destiny.
You can design your own destiny.
What we call epigenetic factors are there to trigger those genes, to express those genes. So just because you have a gene, a predisposition, that's what it's telling you. And we know that, mothers are very fat or mamas are very fat, uncles are very fat. That doesn't mean, all the more reason you need to work harder.
And you work towards it, yes. All right, so just before we sum up this podcast, you spoke about how dieting is a way of life. And that is the question. How can one lose weight and actually keep it off for the long term or for a major chunk of a person's lifespan? What is your takeaway?
Mindful eating and journaling.
All right.
Stand on the scale regularly.
Like every day? Take my weight every day?
Same time, same clothes. Don't let it pass. When the first kg or the first...
Your alarm bell should ring.
Your alarm bell should ring. Absolutely. There's no shortcut to it. I mean, it can be sounding a little obsessive, but if you really... Because I'll also tell you one thing, that today in our ecosystem, it's not so easy. A lot of things have changed in our gut, and especially when I say that, it's about COVID and the COVID times that we've had, the effect of the vaccine on us and the COVID itself on us and all the medication. It's not as
what it used
much
to
of
be.
a breeze as it used to be. So whether it's your weight or your health, one has to work much harder. And the other thing is our food has changed. In my observation, pre and post COVID, the bodies have also changed.
All right, so mindful eating and check the scale every day. And the first time your few pounds go up, your alarm bell should ring.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Ishi. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Ishi Speaks. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, Ruchiraa. I enjoyed it as much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was it on Ishi Speaks. Stay tuned for our next episode, which will focus on another very common area of concern for most people, and that is gut health.